I have some pointers for you for crocheting with boucle yarn, which tends to come in two different formats. This one I'm showing here is loop or hoop boucle, and then there's another one which is completely different but also called boucle. It's this one here and it's called soft boucle. Imagine like a mohair, silk mohair strand that's been at the gym. Like, this thing has beefed up. It's very, very floofy. The thing about boucle is it's completely different from slub, and I also have resources for you for working with slub yarn, which is another textured yarn. So this video is all about working with boucle and crocheting it. Tip 1 is about identifying stitches. This is really quite difficult with a loop boucle. You can sort of see one of the plies, which is usually made of cotton or nylon, and generally you can see what is the front loop, but it isn't easy, so if in doubt, use stitch markers at a decent repeat so you can keep your stitch count right. With the soft boucle, it's a little bit easier. The fibres tend to form in one direction, and it means it's easier to see the front loop and the back loop, as you can see with my hook. You could also use stitch markers for this, but I didn't find I needed to in the same way as I did with the hoop boucle. Working with boucle is not a fast experience, so savour it, enjoy it, it's great fun. Be prepared to rip it back a little though. Tip 2 is all about crochet stitch choices, and it really is best to keep this one simple. With the loop boucle yarn, there is no distinction between rows and rounds. You cannot count them, which means that you also will really struggle to see the difference between a double crochet, a half treble and a treble, so sticking to simple stitches is going to be best. The same really applies to the soft boucle. Although there's a little more stitch definition, it's still very fuzzy. Now with both, you could go up quite a few millimeters in your hook sizes and you'll get something that is more open and lacy with extra drape, but again, I just don't think you're going to see any more definition in stitches. You'll just be making your final fabric more open. So keep it simple. No matter what you're doing, stick to the basic stitches would be my recommendation. Tip 3 is all about frogging boucle. Loop boucle frogs like a dream, particularly if you can spread your stitches out with one of your hands. It kind of opens up the structure of the yarn and it makes frogging back really easy. Even the foundation chain frogged back. I was very surprised, like I was almost overjoyed when this frogged back so easily. I wish I could say the same about soft boucle yarn, but I can't. By stark contrast, frogging back soft boucle is an absolute nightmare. The fluffy, fibrous nature of the yarn means that when you create stitches with it, they have already pulled together. The fibres have stuck together, they have meshed together. So when you come to frog them back, you have to tease out almost every single stitch. Now it does frog back, you have to just really take your time with it. I couldn't frog back the foundation chain, that was a step too far, and there's only so much pain I'm willing to have in my life. So this is part of a bigger blog post that I have done on crocheting with boucle yarn, which I will link below for you.